It is time for part 2 of the Ideanomics video series. Can I really call these series if I just do one video one day and then another video the other day? Let me know. The financial side of things. With Ideanomics, it does kind of show itself as an electric vehicle manufacturer. And if you haven't seen my video on it before, where I kind of go into the business side of things, then some of the things I might say might not make 100% sense. So that video will be linked in the description down below, so you can go and quickly check that out. But without further ado, we are going to have a look at the financial side of things. The stock price is always a good place to start. Right now it's trading around $2.60 per share. It has a 52-week range of 80 cents to $5.53. It has a market cap of 1.1 billion. Earnings per share of $0.3190 per share. And over the past day, it's kind of floated around, but it is in the red in terms of the graph. Past 5 days, it looks higher, but apparently it is lower. The past month, it is most certainly lower. 6 months, it looked like it had a really nice spike in February, and then ever since then, it's kind of hovered up until near the end of June, and it had another bit of a dip. 1 year, it is surprisingly up compared to where it was a year ago of around $1.30 all the way up to, well, probably the high of like almost $5, and now it's kind of in the middle. 5 years, whoa, it looks like it had a really good day, September 1st, 2016, and then ever since then it's just kind of floated up and down, so at least it's been kind of consistent. And then if we actually have a look at the lifetime in May, whoa, 300, reaching a high of, I don't even know how much, but yeah, it has fallen quite a bit since then. But it has also pivoted quite a bit since then, to be fair. We have the 10K form, which is going to give us a kind of an overview of its earnings. I did actually have a look at the business overview, so if you want to actually see what the business does, I will leave a link to my video on that in the top right hand corner, so you can go and have a look at that and then come back to this. But today we're going to be having a look at the financial side of things. So firstly, the revenue. There was one thing that I actually forgot to kind of mention in my last video, and that is to do with Ideanomics' kind of main competitors, which is companies essentially sourcing electric vehicles themselves. So rather than have Ideanomics do it or Ideanomics Mobility do it, they just do it themselves, and they can save themselves probably quite a lot of money as well. But that's not what we're here for. We are here for revenue. Show me the money. And here we have the results from operations. So the comparisons of years ended December 31st, 2020 and 2019. Firstly, looking at their revenue. Their revenue for 2020 was 26.7 million, and for 2019 was 44.5 million. So that is down by around 40%. Not good. Also, another thing has to do with their cost of revenue changing by quite a bit. Their cost of revenue for 2019 was 1.4 million, and for 2020 was 24.7 million. So looking at their gross profit for 2019 was 43 million, and for 2020 was 2 million. That is not actually that good a profit margin, if I do say so. Total operating expenses was 111 million for 2019 and 88.936 million for 2020. So it's been kind of losing quite consistently, at least. The rest, you can, if you want to actually have a look at the rest, you can just pause. But the net loss for 2020 was 106 million, and for 2019 was 96.8 million. So this is a company that is valued at $1.1 billion that currently has a very, very small profit margin related to the revenue and the cost of revenue. It's not really profit if they're losing a lot of money other ways. But that's, not that Great. Here you can actually see their revenue, or a breakdown of their revenue. For 2019, they made the majority of their revenue through digital asset management services. And for 2020, they made the majority of their revenue from electric vehicles. So you can see that they did transition and they have increased their electrical vehicle revenue. But they also have combustion engine vehicles, charging and batteries, and digital advertising services, which leads to their totals, or totals in revenue. Now here is where it gets kind of really interesting. In terms of their revenue, when you actually have a look at their revenue from electric vehicles in 2020, and then you look at their cost of revenue for the electric vehicles in 2020, yeah, it's not actually that good. In fact, the combustion engine vehicles, I believe the cost is higher. Nope, it's not higher, is it? It's like 39,000 less or so. Yes, exactly 39,000. That was quick math in my head. But 1.4 million from, well, electric vehicles, and yeah, the digital asset management services, I don't know what happened with that. The gross profit for the year ended December 31st, 2020 was 2.1 million as compared to 43.1 million during the same period in 2019. Yeah. As of December 31st, 2020, we had cash of 165.8 million. So where did this cash come from? So net cash used in operating activities. So this is how much cash they lost based on their operating activities. Net cash used in investing activities, so how much cash they lost kind of through investing, and the net cash provided by financing activities. So this is related to their stock offering. They made 208 million by offering stock and other kind of financing. So those financing activities where they actually managed to get money. For the year ended December 31st, 2020, the company received 182.5 million from the issuance of common stock, 8.9 million from warrant and option exercise, 27 million from the issuance of convertible notes, 7.1 million from non-controlling shareholders' contributions, and made repayments of 17.5 million. So looking at their assets and liabilities, yeah, their assets and liabilities are balanced. But you can actually see here, and the main thing I want to focus on here is that they did have quite a large stock offering, because they went from 149 million to 345 million, give or take. So you can see here 344 million and 149 million shares issued and outstanding as of December 31st, 2020 and 2019. Yes. Which would probably, I think, dilute it down quite a bit. Pretty much 2 years in a row, their net loss has been almost, if you actually average it out, it's over 100 million a year. And when you look at what the revenue is now, yeah, it's not really that great. So the financial side of things of Ideanomics aren't really that strong. I mean, the concept behind it and how it's moving to the kind of electric vehicle side of things. For me, it's not really a go, just because it's pivoted so many times in the past from working in kind of online content to fintech to now focusing heavily on electric vehicles. Yeah, it seems to be kind of all over the place, and it doesn't really have a specific focus, if you kind of know what I mean. And I know that it is kind of investing heavily in electric vehicles now, but the way that they are making money doesn't actually give them a huge kind of profit. I mean, sourcing electric vehicles for other companies, when the companies can do it themselves, it's not really that sustainable, as companies will look to kind of more have that direct relationship with the manufacturer rather than going through a third party. That's just my opinion in things. Now, I may be wrong, and if they can improve their revenue from their own products, like the tractors and the scooters and the motorcycles, then it could be a viable option in the future. But right now, there is no evidence to show that it is going to make money from that at really any stage. I mean, it's making a little bit right now, I believe, but not really enough to justify how much you would be paying and how much risk you would be taking. Bear in mind, this is all my opinion, and I can miss stuff. I can make mistakes. There might have been something that I missed in those very large documents. I would always like to emphasize that this is not investing advice. Don't base any buying or selling decisions on the content of this video, because I do get things wrong. But that does bring us to the end of this video. I do hope you have enjoyed and found it informative. If you have, I would really appreciate if you hit that like button. And if you are interested in the business side of things and you haven't seen that, then please remember there is a link down below in the description. But that brings us to the end. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.